Hello everybody, my name is Joshua and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Coffee, Cats, and King, where we're going to discuss books both new and old. I will share with you pictures of my cats who will make you wish they were your cats, and I will drink enough coffee for me and everybody watching. If you watched my last video, that was might as well call it a monthly wrap-up. It just happened to be half of March and half of April instead. But I'm in the same get-up because I'm doing a batch film to try and catch up. So this one is a proper weekly wrap-up, which is covering April 12th through April 18th. And from now on, hopefully I'll be able to keep that up and do a Saturday to Friday wrap-up is the idea anyway. So this one shouldn't take that long. I only have 3 books to talk about, and I'm going to briefly tell you what I'm currently reading. So first I'll give you a little cat footage because it's been a while since you've had any. And we'll go on and get into it. So the first book that I finished in this week was Don't Go to Sleep by R.L. Stine. This is another of the original Goosebumps books. And this one, thankfully, was far better than the last one. Don't Go to Sleep, I'd say, is a 3.5 star. Again, much better than Chicken Chicken, which is the previous Goosebumps book. This one has a fun premise where this boy decides that his room is way too small and he wants to sleep in this other separate bedroom that they have in the house that no one ever uses. So he sneaks in there one night, falls asleep, and when he wakes up the next morning, everything has changed. Instead of him being the youngest, he is now a teenager, and his brother and sister are kids. And his whole life is flipped upside down. And then when he goes to sleep again, everything changes again. And he just kind of ends up in this loop where every night something different happens. So, fun premise. Still some major flaws and still not one of the best of those Goosebumps book, but enjoyable for what it is. Again, 3.5, quick and fun, and just does kind of show off the creativity that Stine always had. He came up with some wacky concepts, but he came up with some pretty good ones too, and this is a fun one. Next up was an audiobook. I had a day where I was basically working on house stuff all day long, so I started an audiobook at the beginning and listened the entire way through while I was working. So this is The Colony by F.G. Cottam. Now, I will preface this by saying that I have tried to start this book on several other occasions, and every time I'd get about an hour or two in and realize that I had lost interest at some point and just wasn't paying attention anymore. So why I became so insistent on finishing this book, I don't know, but I did. I finally listened all the way through as I was working, and it was 2 stars. Just wasn't very good, in my opinion. Again, decent premise where this footage shows up. You know what? I'm actually not even going to try and explain the premise because it's somewhat interesting once you get into the book, but it's also kind of confusing. And that's the main issue with this book, is that there is a high level of confusion throughout. There is a massive cast of characters, and I don't think that the author did a good job of really separating them out. So you eventually, they're all kind of meshing together. None of them have the personality to stick out properly. And there are just so many so many things thrown in this book that make it a mess. So yeah, I'm not even actually really going to talk about it. This is, I think, part of a trilogy or a series, but I have no intention whatsoever of continuing it. It was 2 stars. I got points initially for a somewhat decent beginning, but after that it just lost it. There's your typical misogynistic, every male in the story is talking about which of the females he'd rather get in bed. Even as horrific things were happening, we were inside the minds of the males, talking about how, I bet she's scared enough right now that she'd let me hold her, and man, would I love to hold her. And it's bad. It's bad writing. So yeah, there's enough about that book. Now, thankfully, the other book that I read in this week was a really great one. This is Arc 1 of Mother of Learning, and this is another very hefty one, over 600 pages, and this is about a boy who starts his training as a magician. He's actually in his 3rd year when the book starts. Basically, due to unforeseen circumstances, he ends up stuck in a time loop where he continuously goes back and restarts that first month of his year 3 training. And he is stuck there with another boy. It is about them trying to take advantage of this time loop and gain as much knowledge and strength as they can in order to stop a cataclysmic event that occurs at the end of that month. So, like I said, this is Arc 1, and I had to remind myself at the end, because I'll go on and put it out there, this book does not actually have an ending. It just kind of cuts off where you would typically think of a chapter cutting off instead. But I had to remind myself that this is not book 1 of a series. This is Arc 1. This was written as a web novel, all as one massive book, and that's what this is. This is just part 1 out of a 4-part huge book, and it had to be split up like that because if you put it all together as one full book, it'd be over 2,400 pages. This should not lose points because it doesn't have an ending. It's not supposed to have an ending. This is just part 1 out of a 4-part book, one single book. So I had to keep that in mind because at first it did bother me. I gave this 4.5 stars. It was very nearly a 5-star, but well, due to the nature of the book, there are things that get somewhat repetitive, and there's a character or two that is, or that was in this book, recurring, that I just wasn't a big fan of, and unfortunately, because of the nature of the book, you deal with that character a lot. So when that character's scenes came up, it did kind of detract away because I just wanted to get it over with so I could get back to the interesting stuff. That said, the fact that this author can take you through this time loop where a lot of the same things are happening over and over again with just minor differences and still make it a super entertaining book at 600 pages, at 2,400 pages, I guess, really, is pretty astounding. So, again, I'd almost want to give this 5 stars anyway. I think I'd rather settle on 4.5 just because of some little gripes that I have here and there, but I will absolutely be reading the rest of the book, and honestly, I'm extremely curious to see how he manages to keep this going for another 1,800 pages. So we'll see what happens with that, but this was really great. If you're into time travel novels, if you're into fantasy that has sort of a progression feel, or going through school, so I guess thinking of Harry Potter is what most people are going to think of, then I think you'll really enjoy this. Just know that it is told in first person, which I know bothers some people, but it is also very definitely inspired by things like Harry Potter, but its own beast altogether. Really, really excellent. 4.5 stars there, and very much looking forward to getting into the rest of it. So those are the 3 from this week. As far as what I am reading now, my physical book currently is When Other People Saw Us, They Saw the Dead. This is a BIPOC Gothic anthology. I am, I'd say, about a third to a half of the way into it so far. These are not necessarily horror stories. They are Gothic stories, which we know tend to have a more melancholic sadness to them than they do anything scary, right? I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying to supplement these stories in between my ebook, which is Cat's Paw by E.G. Stone. This is about a girl who turns 18 and on her 18th birthday turns into a cat. She is able to transform back, but she's basically learned all at once without anyone giving her any sort of direction that, oh hey, apparently I'm a werecat and now I just have to kind of figure things out on my own. It's actually, it's been really fun. I think at the beginning of the novel, things are really rushed forward, probably for the first, I'd say 30% or so, 40% even. But now, as I'm settling into the last half of the book, it is slowing down and we are getting more detail. We're getting more into the mind of the main character, and it's really picking up in regards to how much I'm enjoying it. It's really cool because half the time you're in the perspective of the character as a cat traveling around the city, and I think she does a really good job of getting into that animal mindset. Clearly the author is a cat lover, as I am, so I'm really enjoying that aspect, and it's been a pretty fun read so far. So we'll see where things go with that. I'm expecting to probably finish that one maybe tomorrow, day after, something like that. Probably have this one done not too long after. And I don't know, I think the rest of the month I'm probably going to just leave things open in regards to what I pick up. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm in one of those moods where I want to actively find books on my shelves that I haven't thought of in a long time. So I'm kind of going through, finding those, picking them up, reading the first 10, 15, 20 pages, whatever, and deciding whether to donate them or continue reading. So I did that before picking this one up, and I was able to cull another 4 or 5 books off my shelves. It's not much, but it's a start, and if I can do that little by little, then maybe I can once again, for a short time anyway, regain control over the chaos that is my bookshelves. My video following this, I don't know if it'll be another weekly wrap-up or if I'll be able to get something in between. I'm trying for something, but we'll see how it goes. But that's it for this one. I hope that you guys are all reading something enjoyable, something that has caught your attention the way that Mother of Learning did for me, or the way that Cat's Paw has snuck up on me, or something to that effect. So let me know down below how things are going in your reading world, and I hope you all stay safe, have a great week or weekend, and most importantly, drink great coffee. Cheers.